it's more fresher. Now it's more fresher. Right, okay. Do you want to actually put it to me so that it looks like I'm... Yeah, because they don't want to see this part of my face, do they? Right, there we go. This is our storyboard, sort of the synopsis of what's going to happen in the trailer. So we're going to start it with an image of the mill closure. So this is when, a bit later on from when all the mills did typically close. We're going to show it in sort of sepia, sort of a dark looking image to show sort of the age when it was. We're going to try and sort of incorporate like a bell or a school sounding noise, sort of a ringing behind it to signify sort of the closure. And then from that we're going to move on to looking at how Stanley, our sort of antagonist of the film, sort of the villain, show how from the mill closure where he worked, we're going to show what his life is now. So he hasn't left the mill, he's living in the mill, and we're going to show sort of a room that's got basic things, a bed, maybe a few sort of things around it, not a lot of stuff in there. And then we're going to put a close-up on the wall. We'll have paper clippings that will show the people's sort of disappearances, and these are going to be kidnapped victims that he is actually kidnapped earlier, but he's been a bit sort of quiet for the last few years. And then from that, breathe. We can cut this out so it's fine. I feel like I'd not breathed for a while. From that, we're going to take a shot onto a few delinquent teenagers. We're going to do probably a male, 2 females, but we're not going to do more than 3 because that would be too difficult, like under the circumstances of arranging people meeting at the same time. So we're going to get them a shot of them walking up towards the actual mill, you know, typical teenagers having fun and all that, but we're not going to do too much speaking because then it can tend to sound a bit American. And then we're going to do a shot of the teens going into the mill, then possibly a shot of them sitting in the mill, just all grouped together, and then it'll be a blackout to add sort of suspense of what's happened after this equilibrium. I'll say that again. So we'll do a group shot, and then we'll show sort of an equilibrium, which Todorov said about, and then blackness. We're going to do talcum powder flashed across the camera and across the whole area to signify the chloroform, which is how Stanley, the mill worker, actually gets his victims under. So they're all collapsed, they're out cold and everything. And then we're going to do a blackout again, and then slowly open up onto the scene where all of the victims are chained up to the walls, obviously distressed by this and that. And then we'll do a noise insert, sort of maybe a chainsaw or something dragging across the floor, just something that sounds like a dangerous weapon that he would possibly use to sort of torture them. And then we'll do a close-up of his face, maybe sort of a sinister smile to show his character of he's gone a bit crazy from all the isolation. And then we're going to try and incorporate sort of the mill worker being tripped or something's gone wrong for him that makes it possible for the attempted escape of one of the characters. And then we'll show them escaping. This is sort of like a pan shot we'll probably do with them running, escaping, getting out into the woods. So this will be a different area from the inside, it'll be outside of it. And then we'll close it with a sort of suspense of the mill worker. They'll think that they're safe, the victim, and then he'll come up with a hand or something. We'll do a close-up of the face with a chloroform cloth in his hand, knocking them out, and then we'll put on the insert of, what's it called? Someone just tell me what that thing's called.
What thing?
You know, the green thing, it says, this film is something something the overage of whatever. Or, no, we'll cut this bit out again. So then we'll have a shot up of the title sequence of the title, the mill workers, and then after that, as a closing sort of like to add to the narrative, we'll have the character, the victim, being dragged back into a dark area by Stanley.